Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charts in the Markets, and this is the Premarket webinar for the morning of Monday, the 3rd of August. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to trend charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at Charts in the Markets on Substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at equities this morning. Now, ES, we had a little weak sell signal fixed on Friday, and that has failed. And we are getting back towards both the daily middle band, which we're likely to open above today, and the diamond top resistance, which is declining resistance from the high, which I'm thinking should probably not be broken if we are going to go down. In terms of NQ, we've still got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed, and we are potentially forming an inverted head and shoulders here. This is probably the key to it. I think part of this gap up we've seen at the beginning of the week is the talks in Iran, which, according to Iran, they know nothing about. And that they aren't particularly interested in doing. So that's not a surprise. We've had a lot of these talks, in inverted commas, from with Iran, which haven't seemed to actually involve Iran. But I am wondering whether tech might actually deliver a move up. We shall see. Tech has been leading the way down, and with tech having outperformed the last couple of days, we've seen a pretty good rally. The question is that going to continue as Nasdaq approaches the daily middle band? We shall see. In terms of RTY, we've still got a nice looking head and shoulders, which has broken down. But on YM, on YM, the head and shoulders has failed. Both of these head and shoulders have failed. And that's got a targeted retest the high, all-time high, which is not far above. But really, it's mainly about tech. Are we going to see a break up on tech here, or are we not? So we will see how that's going to go. But the thing is, one thing I would note though is we're seeing a big move. We're seeing a big move up on the on ES this morning. Overnight, we're up 40 handles. We are up an awful lot less. We're up 64.5 handles on Nasdaq, but given the scale of the index, that means that actually Nasdaq's not opening much up at all. It's really very heavily dependent on what's going to happen on tech. So we shall see. In terms of DAX, we've gone back and we've retested the high. We made the inverted head and shoulder target on ESTX. We are almost back up at a retest of the all-time high, but not quite. Nikkei is still rallying, and it still kind of looks like a bear flag. We shall see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at SPX. Well, ES for starters. We closed on Friday, slightly below, and we will see how that goes. SPX, we closed about 9 handles above, which is effectively a close on the band. But I'm watching this declining resistance. That could get interesting. In terms of SOX, we saw a nice rally there, and this is one key reason we were seeing the rally on tech was one key reason we were seeing the rally across the board. It hasn't got back over the daily middle band yet. It hasn't tested the daily middle band yet, but I'm expecting that to happen today. That is probably the key test. If tech can get back over and continue to outperform, which it's not been doing overnight, then we will see how it goes from here. This could actually deliver a real breakup. At the moment, though, we've still got downside targets there. Tesla, the channel broke down. It had a bit of a rally here, not a great deal. I'm watching this. I don't see it as a bellwether for the overall market, but I'm watching it with interest. In terms of the Qs, getting back up towards the daily middle band. Unless it can break over it, then the rally is going to be ending pretty shortly. If it can break over it, then that's a different story. Dyer had already broken it back over the daily middle band, and as it had done earlier last week, and I wouldn't be surprised at this point to see this go back and retest the highs. Looking at where we are in terms of the futures, this is likely to open and fail this head and shoulders, but we are very close to a retest of the high, and it could be we're just going to retest that and set up a double top. Looking at IWM. Hang on, wait a second. Sorry. All right, looking at IWM. IWM was getting back and retesting the daily middle band as well. We shall see how that goes today. We've got a decent looking, hang on, we've got a decent looking move up on RTY, so we will see how that goes today. But that again is testing resistance at the daily middle band. Oh, one other thing to mention on Qs, we've had all these daily sell signals for a while, and on Qs we've reached the possible near miss target. Hang on, wait a second. Yeah, we reached the possible near miss target on the daily RSI 14 sell signal. We haven't actually done that on any of the others, but we have done it on the Qs now. All right, we have nothing really to see on the hourly charts or the 15-minute charts, really. We've still got sell signals going down. I did mark in on the hourly chart that we had a pretty decent looking potential bull flag set up as well. On IWM. In terms of DAX, we are coming back and we are retesting the highs at the moment. On Nikkei, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders. We would need to break back up to about the 67,750 area, I think, break back over that and get over the daily middle band first to fail that head and shoulders. If that head and shoulders fails, of course, it will give us a target back at a retest of the all-time high. DX was very interesting last week because this was potentially a fairly serious fail. Now, part of this was the intervention in Nikkei, but a lot of it was actually about a big rally in the euro. This could continue. There's no particularly solid reason to think that the dollar would be going up here. Really, the administration is doing everything it can to encourage people to lose faith in the dollar, and it may be that's starting to affect it seriously. But for the moment, the next obvious target was the retest of this high here, but we've not done that. And maybe we won't. We've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed, hasn't delivered anything so far. GBP USD, still not sure what's happening, but it may be going back up to retest this high. USD JPY had a lot of intervention here last week. Both by the US and the Japanese to strengthen the yen, which of course would reduce USD JPY. I'm slightly, well, I was talking on the bigger picture yesterday about the a very nice looking topping setup and bearish setup we've got on USD JPY, and also interest rates are going up, money is being repatriated. It wouldn't surprise me to see USD JPY start to strengthen quite a lot on its own. Watching that with interest. USD CAD still kicking around, was underperforming DX on the way up and so far performing it on the way down. Australian dollar, we had a head and shoulders and that failed, and we might have a little double top here suggesting we might come down again, but this could still be an overall bear flag, keeping an open mind. And NZ, we have gone back up, retested this high, potential double top here, but I'm watching this IHS, which is broken up with the target in the 59.63 area. All right, looking at ZB, we have continued down, and there's not a huge amount of reason to think that it won't continue down. And on the bigger picture, I've got quite a lot suggesting that it will. In terms of ZN, potential double bottom here. Oil, now oil, obviously we've got these talks which were announced with Iran, which Iran is denying, which isn't altogether surprising. The whole thrust of the weekend seemed to be that the US was going to escalate a lot and do lots of blood-curdling threats. And I think the threats might have been the point to force the Iranians to the table. I don't think the Iranians were particularly impressed. The escalation was called off, and we have on CL and coil here, we've got a inverted head and shoulders which broke up and failed, and that had targets at retest the lows. On spot, this has already reached the retest of the lows on Brent, but on the bigger picture, this is actually really about whether the daily middle band is going to hold as support, and currently coil and CL are both below their daily middle bands after the decline yesterday. There are actually no current talks. It's hard to see how well this is going to go. It is amazing that anyone actually takes any notice when new talks are announced, but for whatever reason they still do. CL again hasn't quite retested the low here. We had a weak 6-minute sell signal to reach the possible near miss target. HO, not really a lot happening. On the spot chart, a little double top has broken down. On RBOBs, looks like a bull flag forming. NG looks like a little bear flag forming. And probably setting up a retest of this low, and I'm wondering about a move down towards the 2.49 area. Looking at GC, this I've drawn this as a triangle, but it looks like a bearish consolidation setting up a retest of this low, which we haven't seen yet. SI, we have seen it, and we've got a potential level bottom here on palladium, wondering about a retest of this low. Platinum, wondering about a retest of this low. HG, I described this yesterday as halfway between the gutters and the stars. So we've got a double top, which is broken down with a target in the 5.66 area. Looking at the spot chart, I think it's more likely that that's going to reject and give us a retest of this high. Likely, we should see one or the other. KC still looks like a bullish consolidation. SB looks kind of like a flag, which might be breaking up. CC, this was Head and Shoulders, which broke down with a target in the 4400 area, or it looked like a possible bull flag forming. That could still be forming, but it looks as though it might be breaking up towards a retest of this high. Lumber, I've actually got some big sell signals fixed on the RTH charts. We saw a big move down, possible 60-minute buy signal brewing, but we might actually about to see a significant decline on lumber. CT, and we've been waiting a while for that, and we've had a setup for that for quite a while. On cotton, I'm still kicking around wondering whether it's going to retest this high here. We've seen significant declines on the grains, and that might follow through into more. It's the IHS failed, delivered a low here. I'm wondering if there is possible head and shoulders forming here, possible head and shoulders forming on corn too, and a possible head and shoulders forming on soy. So I am wondering if this might follow through into further declines. On ZL, we could be forming a triangle maybe. Doesn't look as though we're going to immediately go back and retest this high. Live cattle, we've still got a big head and shoulders pointing down, smaller double bottom, which is broken up with a target in the 231.6 area, but it is failing at the moment at the monthly pivot. On HE, we've got on lean hogs, the IHS pointing up has failed with a target and a retest of this low. I'm kind of leaning towards seeing that, so we shall see. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. On indices, am I? No, it's not done yet. Really, it's all about whether SPX and particularly QQQ can break back over the daily middle band. Both of them are, well, QQQ is close to a test, SPX is close to a test. Can we see a breakup back above? If we can, then we've got potential retests of the all-time highs across the board coming. If we can't, then, well, it's going to go down again. Why is there optimism here? Well, tech has been rallying the last couple of days. I am noting that while SPX is up quite a lot overnight, NDX is not. We are up a bit there, but not as much as SPX. Tech was outperforming on Thursday and Friday. If it starts underperforming again, then that's a strike for the bears. So no, it's not done yet. It's all about the daily middle bands, as it often is. So I'll be watching with interest to see where the close is today. I would note, just as a last point, that the stats for today are bearish. And there are, of course, no talks in Hormuz, as the Iranians have confirmed. In this weird world we've got, the Iranians are actually pretty reliable, and CENTCOM and the US military lie all the time, which is an odd inversion of what would normally be the case. But, you know, we have what we have. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, and should be an interesting day. All right, cheers.